Part 5. Summary and Conclusion. To conclude, let us revisit the 4 tenets, our general agreements. The one truth of reality is the impersonal truth, starting with the complete physics that includes all levels of complexity, from quarks to the human body to the solar systems. It all comes down to rules of physics. The one truth of reality, at least that part we perceive as physical reality, is the dominant characteristic of our inner maps we use to operate in the physical world. Without it, we would not be able to function. We need confidence in consistent causes and effect relationships to do anything. The sun rises every morning and warms the earth. How grateful we are for our relationship to the cause and effect of the sun that gives us life. The one religion of birth is the presence of the superpersonal truth, the way of being that unleashes our potential. Religion, meaning the pursuit or interest of what is considered to be of supreme importance, is as old as humanity itself. It is a built-in characteristic of intelligent survival. The central theme being that if we could understand the source of all, then we could successfully navigate our lives. It is not irrational or made up. Religion originates in people's attempting to express important truths to other people to help us survive and have happiness. The form of that communication most often took the form of stories that were passed and transformed from generation to generation. We are all here because our ancestors had successful stories. This does not mean that people have not added explanations or ideas that are not helpful or run contrary to underlying reality, or that mankind has not used religion to gratify selfish pride and produce horrors. It does mean that those horrors are unstable and do not stay with societies forever. Underlying truths always reemerge. Archetypes emerge, refining our understanding of reality. At the foundation of all major religions is the pursuit of the superpersonal truth, an effort to guide humanity into a way of being that produces happiness. The stories may be different, but the goals are the same. They are produced from the same reality that all of us live in. In this way, there is but one religion of birth, one pursuit, the realization of a shared source, and the production of human happiness. The one teacher of self is our attention. Our attention and the skill we bring to it are all we really have to work with. Everything else follows our attention. We could be listening to life-changing music and words, but if our attention is fixated on a painful memory, we won't even notice it. The primary skills of attention are concentration, clarity, and equanimity. Concentration is the ability to sustain focus on what you want. Clarity is the ability to separate experience into its components. And equanimity is the ability to fully experience our senses without suppressing them by pushing them down or being pulled away by grasping for them. The limits of attention are found in the gaps and gems. The gaps come from the realization that we are at all times understanding things from a particular reference point and relevance. The result is that the full extent of our understanding is half-truth, and the full extent of our communication is quarter-truth. As our comfort with uncertainty grows, we experience the gems. With greater clarity, we can see that God, the source of all, does not pursue perfection as the highest goal. God is an artist, the source of all possibilities. As this is the case, then people are beautifully messy. We can appreciate and anticipate the wild unsteadiness that is the human condition. In the last gem, the limitations of gaps and artistry of our experience means that God is tricky. There is the possibility of unanticipated meaning in everything, where meaning is the manifestation of our values. As in, we see and use a cup. It's an everyday occurrence. For some, we realize it is the emptiness of the cup that makes it useful. Then we start to see the world in a whole new way. The meaning of the simple cup has tied to our pursuit of the superpersonal truth, all of which is due to our focus of our attention. Lastly, when we open ourselves to the world of truth, we find that all of humanity are our companions. We all pursue happiness. We all share a source, biology, and a planet. If we and those who come after us are to sustain peace and happiness, we must learn to manage our interdependence, both with each other and the planet. There is no other way forward. We are truly one people of Earth. We live in a time of transition. Transitional times happen when the knowledge of ourselves and the environment changes and no longer matches the story we live in. We can feel aimless. Meaning is diminished. Today, the world is in a collective story crisis. This crisis is felt by nearly everyone. How we respond to it collectively will determine the future of humankind. Zozvrm is a work of updating our story. That is, the story of humankind and our potential. Zozvrm is not the absolute truth. The story is made up of quarter truths told in the best way we know how. The purpose, simply put, is to make sense of the world. We will share a story of how the universe came to be and its properties, the origin of sentient, self-aware people that led to where we are today, what it means to be human and the process of our development. We will look back at how our traditions began and find the deep wisdom of the past. Lastly, we will begin to look forward to what world we would like to build. As a whole, Zozvrm is here to help us understand one another and lead happy, fulfilling lives, to help facilitate the end of the meaning crisis. The work of Zozvrm, that of story building, did not start today. It began before the dawn of time and will continue on forever so long as self-aware beings continue. The story is not being done told, nor will the work ever end. So long as information can be acquired, change is occurring. So long as we are aware of one another, love will continue to be the driving force of nature.